Hello. Your phone holds a machine that humanity spent 5,000 years building.
5,000 years ago, people already knew how to count. There were no numbers. There was no paper. There were only pebbles and clay. A merchant in the ancient city of Uruk sold grain. A scribe laid out pebbles in rows on a clay tablet. One row meant ones. Another row meant tens. This is how
The
counting
total
was
amount
born.
is correct.
The word calculator comes from Latin. Calculus means a small stone. For centuries, people counted their harvest and taxes stone by stone. One lost pebble, and the whole count fell apart. This was not easy. People needed more speed. 1,000 years later, something new appeared. A wooden frame, tight strings, beads strung in rows, the abacus. In China, it was called the swan pan. A skilled merchant could click the beads faster than you could say a number out loud. The top row of beads stood for fives. The bottom row stood for ones. Wait, is my visual effects budget also made of wooden beads? Centuries passed. In the year 1642, a 19-year-old Frenchman named Blaise Pascal sat down at a strange wooden box full of gears. His father was a tax collector, tired of counting everything by hand. Pascal built a machine that could add numbers on its own. It was called the Pascaline. 30 years later, a German scholar named Gottfried Leibniz went further. His machine could not only add numbers, but multiply them too. He called it the stepped reckoner. But the real revolution came later. In 1820, France introduced the arithmometer, the first calculating machine made in series. For the first time, a counting machine was no longer just a genius's toy. It was a working tool. Another 100 years passed. Accountants turned heavy metal levers, and the machine did the counting on its own. Then came the 20th century. Electricity changed everything. The first electronic calculators appeared, as big as desks. They weighed like a suitcase full of bricks. A few decades later, the calculator fit inside a pocket. If you've made it this far, you're already more patient than a 1950s accountant. And if you're starting to doze off, feel free to look at this cat. It can't count either, but it sure can purr. In 1972, the company Hewlett-Packard released the first scientific pocket calculator. Engineers and students finally threw away their bulky slide rules. The world was calculating faster than ever before. And then the calculator stopped being a separate device at all. It dissolved into computers and phones. Today, a calculator lives inside every phone. We don't even notice it anymore. And it all began with pebbles on a clay tablet 5,000 years ago. Stone, bead, gear, microchip. The same journey of humanity toward one simple question. How much?